Here are my 6 real estate negotiation strategies that just might get you the house that you want to buy. If you are new here, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Spade at Keller Williams Realty, and I make all these videos to help you make sense of the real estate market. If you would do me a huge favor, please click that subscribe button. Also, click that little bell so you can be notified every single time we drop fresh new content. And if you would do me a huge favor, please comment and let me know what you think of these negotiation strategies. Is there anything else you've used to get the property that you want? And also, if you found value in this, someone else might too. So please share the video. Here are my 6 top negotiation strategies, and you're going to want to stick around for number 6 because I promise it's not something you thought of. My first negotiation strategy is be prepared to walk away. I know that sounds counterproductive, but be prepared to walk away from the negotiation if the terms are not acceptable to you. First of all, a lot of people are going to get offended by the price, and I get that. If you feel like you're overpaying for a property or the seller's being completely unrealistic, then just walk away from the transaction. The one thing you don't want to do though is get emotional about the process. Nothing kills a real estate deal faster than emotions, and when emotions boil over, everybody feels like they're losing in the transaction. So you need to be able to create a win-win deal that is going to make everybody feel good. But if the deal at the end of the day does not make you feel good, then just walk away from the deal. Because if you're the only one negotiating with the seller, chances are they're going to think twice about it, and they're likely going to come to some sort of middle ground with you, and you're going to be able to get the deal. Here is something I know a lot of buyers, they're just not doing, and this might be something that you want to take advantage of, and that is pay some of the seller's closing costs. You don't have to pay all of them, but you can offer a certain percentage of the closing costs back to the seller. So for example, if you're willing to pay the seller's escrow fee, which might be $1,800, if you're willing to pick up the tab for the seller's escrow fee, then you will look a lot better to the seller when that offer is presented. Now, your offer might not be the highest offer possible, but when you're adding back these little things that's going to put some more money into the pocket of the seller might be looking, going, hey, I want to work with this person because they're thinking a little bit outside the box. So this is just going to be something to think about. None of these are things that you have to do. None of them are hard and fast ideas, but these are just some of the negotiation strategies that have worked for me in the past that are very, very unique. So just think about offering the seller some money back for closing costs, even if it's 1% of the overall purchase price. Let's say you're buying an $800,000 house, then that's $8,000. Especially in this competitive market where there's 12, 14, 15 offers, this might be something that you want to think about. The other thing that you're going to want to do is know what your highest bid is going to be before the negotiation starts. So how do we figure this out? One thing that we do is we're going to do a comparative market analysis on the property that you're thinking about purchasing. We're going to reverse engineer that offer as though you were the seller. Where was the seller's mind when they decided to put that listing price on the property? We're going to try to see it from the eyes of the seller. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards and go, okay, Mr. Seller, you wanted $1 million for your house, but we see X, Y, and Z wrong with the property, and homes are selling at $1 million that are in mint condition, and yours is just kind of good to average condition. So you've got to know what your highest price is before you really enter those negotiations. The other thing that I would highly recommend to you is put your best foot forward on the first offer. Assume that the seller is never going to send you a counteroffer. The reason for this is the sellers are under no obligation to send you a counteroffer, and if they're getting 10 offers or 17 offers like we did on my last house over here on Laurel Street, then they are under zero obligation to send you a counteroffer. In fact, they could just accept one of those 17 offers, which essentially is what we did on that house. We just submitted one counteroffer and got that and opened that and put that into escrow. And I heard from agents over and over and over again that their clients were willing to come up higher if we would have just gotten a counteroffer. First of all, know what your top number is, write your best offer, and put your best foot forward first, and assume that the seller is never going to counteroffer. Here is another strategy that always tends to work. Look for the seller's non-financial needs. What is the seller looking for in the offer? What is most important to the seller? Is it the fact that they're going to be able to get a rent back for 30 days at no cost? Is it that they are looking to take certain things from the house, like the washer and dryer, the refrigerator, certain chandeliers in the house? What's important to the seller? That requires a phone call from me to the listing agent, or vice versa, the listing agent to the buyer. What's important to your client to structure and create that win-win deal? There are different things for different people, and if it's a matter of taking certain things from the house because there's sentimental or emotional value, or for the seller just leaving certain things. Sometimes I've had sellers say, I'm not removing anything else. I'll give you a prime example. I just closed a house in Lakeside where it was a divorce situation. It was really quite messy. On the property, the seller left a camper and 2 boats. And my clients were like, we want this house so bad, we're willing to take responsibility for these items. So that's just going to be another thing that you're going to want to look for. What's important? What is the non-financial part of the transaction that is important to the seller to help you stand out in negotiations? Here is number 5, and that is pre-negotiating your offer even before you put it to paper. So a lot of times agents will call me and say, hey, this is what's important to my client. What's important to your client? If we write an offer here, are we in the ballpark? Are we out of the ballpark? So for example, let's take that Laurel Street house that I showed you a couple minutes ago. On that one, we listed it at $685,000. Well, we ended up closing escrow at $735,000. We did receive offers at $760,000, but there were some agents calling me saying, hey, my clients are FHA, they can only pay list price. Is it worth it for us to even submit an offer? And realistically, if you do that ahead of time, you can let the seller or the buyers know exactly where the offers are standing right away. And if you do that, then you're not wasting anyone's time. In some cases, you know what? I told them, I said, your answer is 100% no if you don't submit the offer, but if you submit the offer and you didn't, at least you knew you put your best foot forward. I always recommend putting your best foot forward first, but start pre-negotiating these offers. This is what we're gonna do for you when we work together, is pre-negotiating those offers ahead of time, so that way we know exactly where we're coming in at, where we're going, what our top number is, and we've discussed what's gonna be a win for the seller. And number 6, and finally, we want to negotiate win-win deals. What is going to create a win for the seller and what is going to create a win for the buyer? The wins are going to be different for everybody, but everybody has to walk away feeling absolutely 100% whole. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Is there any negotiation strategy that you think might help you win in this San Diego real estate market? Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll catch you on the next one.